I thought this time we could start with the intro that plays before the race starts. So that blue little guy is Damien, and apparently through the whole game he's been trying to join the crew of friends. It seems like he just wants to be part of the crew, and he usually gets left behind or ignored. Oh, but he's mad. Oh, he sure is fed up. He's done with it, and he wants to challenge them to a race. Because that's what you do in games. Well, anyway, I figured this time, because the name of the race and the map is called Iceland, that I could actually talk about Iceland and my affinity for it. Now, if you're thinking, Patrick has clearly run out of ideas, he's been doing this for too long. Week 2 of Snowboard Kids 2 is getting to him. He's talking about Iceland now, this is ridiculous. Now, hold on. I personally actually have an affinity for Iceland. Seriously. And any of my real life friends can attest to this and back me up on it. You don't have to in the comments if you're one of my real friends. Now, I have a very serious love for Iceland, as I said, which seems very random because it's a very obscure country. Now, why would I have a love for Iceland then? It comes down to two of my favorite celebrities or personalities ever being from Iceland. And the first one, without a doubt, is Stefan Karlsson, or Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. I'm sure you're familiar with the character. He's obviously become a bit of a meme over the years. Funny enough, in the early 2000s, the meme was not in favor of Robbie Rotten. The meme was in favor of Robbie Rotten being made fun of for being, either flamboyant or being a little too weird around children, being kind of a freak. The meme about Robbie Rotten initially was not in his favor. And I don't actually know when that turned. I think it probably turned around the time that the We Are Number One video became very popular to parody and do YouTube poops on. And when that blew up, I was absolutely on board. I had unironically been a fan of Lazy Town for a long time. I watched it a bit as a kid, and I just thought it was a really funny, entertaining show as an adult. So I was completely on board with people finally coming around to it and loving it for the enjoyable show that it was, with its very colorful art style and very wholesome but simple lessons for children about just staying healthy. Now, if it's weird for a 30-year-old to be talking about a kid's show, I want to reiterate again that I watched it when I was younger, and I enjoyed it. And so it's just more that affinity that has come along with me. I don't sit here binge Lazy Town. I'm just very fond of it from my memories. So, of course, when Stefan Karl got sick, and the whole internet was rooting for him, that was at parts bitter and at parts sweet. Bittersweet, as they call it. What a wordsmith I am. And obviously, I was very devastated, actually, when he finally did pass away. That was a very sad time for me. I actually had a very good friend of mine reach out to me when he passed away to genuinely ask me if I was okay. And to my friend, Tommy, that did that. Thank you, Tommy. And I wasn't okay. I was just bummed out. I wasn't in deep depression, but he meant a lot to me. He's a very colorful man. He was a very wonderful actor, a beautiful singer. He had an incredible voice, and he just did a lot of wonderful things to make himself look silly in the merit of entertaining children and giving them a positive message to fall behind. And I hope that we can all respect that. He was an incredible man, and I'm still very fond of him. And to this day, my Discord avatar, as it has been for the past 10 years, is of Robbie Rotten, and it will remain so until I finally am removed from this mortal coil. Now, who's the other person from Iceland that I'm fascinated with? And that would be Björk. And I know most people call her Bjork, but that's not the correct way of pronouncing her name. Which sounds like I'm being a nerd about it, actually her name's pronounced Björk, I'm trying to be pretentious about it or sound more European than I am, which is none. I'm 0% European. But, if it's a person's name, you should probably try to pronounce it correctly. So anyway, Björk is actually my favorite musician, and I know it's easy enough to think of her as the funny Iceland fairy girl, but I'm actually very entranced by her wonderful lyricism, her beautiful voice, and frankly, I think her experimental style of music production is unparalleled in this age. This might sound crazy, but I actually think that Björk is one of the best musicians alive as far as volume of content and quality of content over the years. There's not a single album she has made that I haven't been astounded by. Now, there is the movie album that she made that a lot of people pan, but I don't think it's as bad as people say. I'm going to put the album cover right here for that. I'm not as critical as that as people would think, and maybe it's just because I'm a huge fan of hers. Now, again, she does get that rap as being like the kind of the funny Iceland fairy girl, you know, I am living in your computer, you know, and that's all well and good to make a meme out of her, but I think it does tell a story of kind of the image that you have, the kind of person that others think you are, or people that don't know you think you are, versus who you really are as a person. No one else outside of ourselves is ever going to really understand who we are based on the image that we portray, either accidentally or on purpose. And hey, I'm actually doing pretty well here, but anyway. An honorable mention to the guy Oscar from this really funny video from the early 2000s called My Cousin Oscar from Iceland, where he just screams about daylight savings time because it's like 3 p.m. and pitch black in Iceland. All that being said, I really like the country of Iceland. I would very much love to go there someday. I didn't go when I was in Europe. I really should have. Hopefully I have a long life and I will have an opportunity, or many, to go over there. And hopefully when I go, I'm not weird about it. You know, I don't want to be like a weirdo, that weeaboo that goes to Japan and is awkward about it. I'd like to just enjoy it for what it is and not make regular people uncomfortable with me. And as you can see, we totally blew it again. So I'm going to try again. We're just going to keep going until we win. I'm sorry if this is getting boring. I hope the stories are entertaining enough. See ya.